Hello everybody, my name is Shortline614 and welcome to the first episode of a new series. This is Shortline Space Program, and this is going to be a series, a very long series I hope, of videos and live streams showcasing all the shit I do in Kerbal Space Program. So I've decided to restart my save. There are several reasons for this. The main reason being that that save that I have been doing the past Kerbal Space Program live streams in has really had a lack of planning, and that really shows in the past few streams where I've been trying to build the space train and I forgot the name of the station, but the Earth orbit, the Kerbal orbit station. So that really bothered me. Two, frankly, I felt like that I only could work on that save while streaming, and since that I started a job last week, I actually have a lot less time to stream, plus my streaming software kind of broke a little while ago, but other than that, stuff's going pretty well. As you can see, we're launching the first module of our new Kerbal orbit station. This is Columbia Station. I'm not gonna multitask on this thing. I'm gonna take it easy, do one thing at a time. And so I'm going to assemble our Kerbal orbit station first, which is Columbia Station. It's going to be our orbital shipyard. And as you can see, it's right now this is a center truss segment, and of course I put my little space tug to help maneuver stuff around the station. I do actually have some mods installed. Right now it's mostly just, I don't have any parts mods installed. It's mostly just like stock visual enhancements, Planet Shine, Scatterer. I do eventually want to get some more useful mods like a Kerbal Alarm Clock and Kerbal Engineer. Maybe some parts mods, I'm not too sure, but I like the challenge of building with stock. So as you can see, you're going to be seeing a lot of this. The whole station keeping thing, all of these truss segments, there's going to be 3 of them. The main center core is made up of fuel, and that is so that we can refuel our eventual, I think, nuclear-powered space tugs, or even space tugs like this. Of course, this is the upper stage of the Chesapeake launch vehicle. So there we go. That's our first segment. Now here's our second segment. This is the second truss. This is one of the. It's very similar to the first one, except this one uses robotics to have a large solar array on top, and as you can see, we're using the Chesapeake 5.0 launch vehicle. In retrospect, that might have been a bit overkill, but I did have to modify the tug to have a mainsail, so I could actually lift this thing. Each of these trusses are about 30 tons each, and the fairing is quite ridiculous, but as you could see, just continuing to trying to get to orbit here, the first part of every mission, of course. I had to rearrange my staging because I just straight up forgot to. So yeah, that mainsail's burning well. This one was kind of a low altitude, but a low angle, but that actually proved in our favor as we were able to get a rendezvous in one orbit. And as you can see up there, it's very similar to the first one, to the first truss segment, except the solar panels are on top, and they are on some of the robotic parts that, and they'll extend out once we reach the station and deploy them. But as you can see, this also has docking ports. It has 4 large docking ports and 4 or 8 small docking ports, so we can dock, as I said, space tugs and other stuff to this main truss segment. I'm going to have to launch 2 of those, but I only ever launched one in this recording session. This was done after work. It took about 2 or 3 hours, actually. As you can see, we're starting to come into the station, and this Columbia Station, and this, well, it turns out I didn't put SAS on the truss segment itself, so we're going to have a bit of trouble trying to dock this. So my first idea was, well, I don't really need that stage anymore, and it's about this time I realized, maybe docking with SAS isn't the best idea in the world. As you can see, I also remembered to put lights on this. If you've seen me in the past, you know that I build a lot of space stations, but I always forget to put lights on them. So, I was playing, what is it called? Luna multiplayer yesterday with some friends, and I built a massive mud station, and I forgot lights, and then once I got in render range, it exploded. So that was pretty fun, but also kind of frustrating. But as you can see, I quick saved because I realized, hey, I might need that SAS trying to come in and trying to get closer to the station. So as you can see, kind of standard rendezvous. The approach, the actual rendezvous itself was actually pretty good. I only needed to go around once in order to actually catch up with this thing, but the docking was the hardest part. And as you can see, I try to, on the Chesapeake Upper Stage, RCS is limited to 50, but I thrust it all the way up, and then I use the engine a bit, trying to get closer. This is a large station, by the way. And of course I dock at night, because every single docking always has, or landing, always has to happen at night. It never happens in the daytime. So I decided to take the little space tug out, and by the way, if anyone could tell me what's going on with that little pink square, I know that's one of the visual enhancement mods, because they're the only mods that I actually have installed, but if anyone could tell me how to fix that or what that is, that'd be much appreciated. But as you can see, I try, and, well, I try, as you can see, I'm coming with the space tug, and docking right there with our, I guess this is the second truss, and then as you can see, I disconnect our tug. We'll reconnect that later. And basically, the main reason why I put this on here is mostly for SAS. This was my first attempt at trying to dock this with the tug. It didn't go as well, mostly because you have, as I said, the truss segment's pretty heavy. It's like 70 tons or something ridiculous. Not 70 tons, it's 30 tons. 35 tons, I think. But the tug itself is about 5 tons, and that actually causes a bit of a trouble when me trying to come in. And as you can see, I eventually realized my problem, and I reactivate the little tug. This thing actually has no power generation, but it has the singular 2.5 meter battery, which should be enough. Because this thing isn't going to be disconnected from a station for a long time. So, I try a new idea. My idea, which this actually ends up working, is I will slide this in the area between the, basically, I'll set this up how it's supposed to dock, and then right before I go to dock, I'm going to slide the tug out, and then I'll use the remaining RCS in order to get the last few meters in order to dock. And I paused the game very briefly. I don't know why I paused the game like that. Probably had to tab out or something. Someone pinging me on Discord. As you can see, using the translation controls, trying to come into the station. Going side to side, pitching up, all that stuff. And this is where the fun begins. This is where I try to get them lined up perfectly. And spoiler alert, I get them lined up. I get the two modules lined up perfectly. Like the RCS on one end and the RCS on this one are lined up perfectly. It's like they were one craft to begin with, so that was pretty good. So as you can see, I'm trying to come in here. I obviously reorientate the actual station in order to make sure that the modules are orientated right. As you can see, this is where I go and undock the tug, and I be very reckless about it and almost hit the other. I think I did actually hit the Space Station Columbia. Good thing I didn't hit the solar panels. But that's just gonna go free floating for a little while. As I try to get this to dock, and I was very careful. This entire docking thing took about 30 to 40 minutes. I know it doesn't look long because this is sped up 5 times speed, but as you can see, I try and go in. I try and go for a docking. Be very careful about it. Still getting used to using translation controls. I'm not the best at them, but the good thing about this is, about doing these space station projects, is it helps me do it well. And then they dock, and our station is, of course, complete, and I don't want this thing to drift away too far because it only has monopropellant. So, excuse me. So, I bring it in for a docking, obviously. So, of course, I bring it down, and then, just standard translation controls. This thing is incredibly maneuverable. I don't even think it needs the SAS. So as you can see, I'm coming in here. Just nice docking. Good thing about these small crafts is you can tend to let the magnets do most of the work. But anyways, this is the main feature. This is the solar panel array, which those robotics are very helpful. Initially, of course, I wanted to do a power tower design because the power tower station design is very special in my heart. But I decided to go for just a... This is actually going to be somewhat based off of the Mir 2 space station, which I quite enjoy. I'm thinking... instead of a MUN station, we're going to have a Minmus station for refueling, because I just think that makes more sense because Minmus has less gravity and the same amount of ore, relatively speaking. But I think for that station, we'll have a power tower design. So, as you can see, we're trying to dock what's left of the tug. Has about 1,500 meters per second of delta V. I'm going to use the... These tugs for all these assembly missions, they probably aren't going to be permanently attached to the station because I use them to refuel the fuel tanks inside there, which those are actually supplementary. I'm going to have a giant, probably 3-meter fuel tank attached to one of those ends as the main fueling portion. So, of course, I warp over so I can have the light side, and I transfer in all of the fuel. And then the good thing is, I'm actually going to have a little bit of fuel left in order to deorbit that thing, which is really, really nice. Refueling these monopropellant tanks was actually kind of tedious because I had to collect each one and, wait for them to fuel up. Also, for some reason, they wouldn't, fuel them up. So, the tug has served its purpose, and it has been deorbited. So, here is our station. The next episode, we'll probably send up the other solar array, and I don't know what else. I might do that in a stream. But, this is Columbia Station, the start of the new save. I hope y'all follow me as I progress in this new save in Kerbal Space Program. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. Follow me on Twitch for streams, and join the Discord server, and follow me on BitChute as well. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.